We are going to look back on the weekend that was at Churchill starting on Friday. Of course, we had the Kentucky Oaks, the running the Willies for the fillies. But Raider Jim, what were your thoughts on the Kentucky Oaks?
Oaks was a great race. Unfortunately, what I found out in at least here in San Diego, California, you couldn't see the Oaks running live. I looked for it all over the place. I had to pull it up on TVG. And, for all those who aren't familiar with TVG, I highly suggest that you download the app and follow and do all your betting on TVG. They're a fantastic, fantastic source for every track around the world and in North America. The Oaks was a great race. What can I say? I'm trying to pull it up right now. Bear with me.
I got it. I can lead in. I think I still had it up. It was Pretty Mischievous getting the job done. The payouts, a very hefty payout, at least for Pretty Mischievous. 22.75 to win, 10.10 to place, 7.40 to show. Gambling Girl, 12.84 to place, 8.36 to show. And the Alley's Look, 13.80 to show. Not a great running for Wet Paint. Finishing
not at all.
Fourth. Yeah, but yeah, back to you there, Raider Jim.
No, I was just going to say, not at all. I mean, did finish, finished fourth. And Darth Vader was after that. Flying Connection was after that. That was the worst showing that I had for the weekend because those came, so that is 4, 5, and 6. I set a personal record on Saturday for picking horses that came in second, third, and fourth. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, Wet Paint, what I did see on the replay is Wet Paint just never got on track. No pun intended. Just didn't. Kind of had a slow break than you would think, and just was always in the back. Had to fight to get up to where they did finish, which surprising with Flavian Pratt on board. So Luis Saez on Darth Vader. Darth Vader was a long shot, but at the same time, people thought that it had potential to be that upset long shot. Had some good, long shot value on it to come in, maybe third, probably not second, but at least finished on that in your ticket on the 3 spot. Just did not happen. Just very surprising. The other one, Botanical. Yeah. Botanical 8.25 was another one that had good value to it, but wow, finished second to the last, came in 13th place. So just an odd race, odd field, for the field. A lot of surprises on that. And so when you woke up, I'm looking here. 10 to 1, 13 to 1, 30 to 1. Those were your first, second, third place finishers. If you had that exacted ticket, you brought home $400 on the $2 exacted ticket. 50-cent trifecta brought you $1,967.
That's a good day at the track. That's a hell of a day at the track.
Then you can walk in and say, "Honey, I'm home."
Exactly. Hey, so you might see a replay of the race and see me in the background. Yeah, I wasn't at work, but look at this beautiful diamond necklace I got for you because I was thinking about you so much. But yeah, that is a very interesting race. I was in the same boat as you. This one, I wasn't terribly successful this past weekend, but or 2 weekends ago, I should say. But the Oaks definitely took me out to the woodshed, if you will. I was very high on Botanical. Not a very good run. I also thought we'd see something better out of Wonder Wheel. It was a horse that, had some question marks. And then, of course, Wet Paint. I didn't bet on Wet Paint just because the value wasn't necessarily there. Obviously, that might have been my best play of the race. But congratulations to Pretty Mischievous. That was a hell of a race going, making that pass. And the stretch run was very interesting. Gambling Girl made it very close. Wasn't quite a photo, but it was very, very close. Got it by a nose, if you will. But a lot of value. Yeah, that's a heck of a trifecta on 50 cents there. 2 quarters, rub 2 quarters together. It's very rare you're going to get 1,900 plus out of it. So congratulations if you hit that trifecta. And, if you have a time machine, head on back and send the proceeds our way. But yeah, it's a very interesting way to start the weekend, which was the perfect prelude into Saturday and the Kentucky Derby. We, of course, saw the big news, obviously, was Forte going down, but a heck of a run. Speaking of a stretch run, a hell of a stretch run from Mage, holding off all challengers to get the win, sending their owners that picture of the owners going crazy after they win. That's really what you love about horse racing. With all due respect to the Dolphins and the big money owners, it's nice to kind of see the small stakes owners getting a piece of that pie. But Raider Jim, what were your thoughts on the 149th run for the Roses?
Oh, it was a great race. And like you said, fantastic stretch run. On my ticket, I had coming in first, second, and third, 2 fills, Angel of Empire and Disarm. And I had another one underneath that didn't matter once or twice, but I had Mage nowhere on my ticket. I'm going to be real honest. I hadn't given that horse a second look. Fantastic run, though. Ran a lot stronger. I mean, there was nothing that I read ahead of time that told me this is the performance you were going to see. Congratulations to Javier Castellano.
Yes.
Wow, what a jockey. He's a Hall of Famer already, but this had been kind of like his white whale that had been eluding him. He was so excited afterwards, and I think one of the NBC shots that I really appreciated is one of his fellow Venezuelan riders came up afterwards and was so happy for him. And when you see him reach out, grab Javier's hand and pull it in and give it a kiss and then just congratulate him, that's the brethren right there of the jockeys and the jockey club. And I really appreciated that. But what a fantastic race. I mean, I'm looking here at the 3/4 post. It was still kind of dropping back and then just slowly started coming around. Then by the 1 mile, it was doing real good. On the straight, it finally got in there. And then the fight started. 2 fills, Mage, 2 fills, Mage. Here comes Angel of Empire. But wow, Mage, he just ran a fantastic race. And if you watch the film, it's really good. NBC, if you want to get on YouTube, they have that last mile or half mile from the overhead shot, and you watch the way he maneuvered that horse. He kept that horse out of harm's way the entire race. Fantastic run. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, it's the Derby is a tough race to win in the stretch because of the congestion, because of just the craziness. And usually there's 20 horses, as I mentioned earlier. There were only 18, but that's still a huge field for a horse race in North America. So for Javier Castellano to guide Mage through and then ultimately beyond the pack, really fantastic stuff. It reminded me a lot of when Dale Earnhardt finally won the Daytona 500. Like you said, look, Javier Castellano ends up retiring, never winning a Kentucky Derby. He's still in the Hall of Fame. He's still one of the generational jockeys. But it's very fitting now. It's kind of like, okay, you got everything you worked for, you got that, and you deserve it. So congratulations to him.
It's Tony Gwynn never getting that World Series right.
Exactly. Yeah. If only. My goodness. Yeah. And that's one of the biggest things, to see jockeys who work very hard and ultimately sacrifice a lot, just like any athlete, a lot of time away from family, friends, plenty of missed birthdays, Mother's Days, all of the above. And even for his fellow jockey, I'm sure, to kind of mentor him going forward, it was really good for Javier Castellano, and great for Mage to essentially kind of, like you said, introduce herself at least to me, or himself to me, because that was an incredible run. Never a second thought did I think that Mage would get the job done. But
Tapit Trice was the other horse that surprisingly ended up just little, not quite in the back half of the pack, but still was never a threat. The 2 Japanese horses, Dermasatagake and Mandarin Hero. Mandarin Hero, I actually wondered if it was going to be one of those upsets, because I had mentioned on the podcast before the Derby that for all the hype and press they were giving Dermasatagake, that there was another horse that his stablemate that came with them, Mandarin Hero, and a couple of the professionals doing the podcast from Twin Spire said, this horse is something special. But they said it was already slated to run on Saturday, this coming Saturday, in the Preakness. And then at the last minute, they were able to pencil them in because of the horses that were pulled or whatever the city scratched, and did not really make a showing. Came in, I think, 17th, 18th, or maybe it looks like 10th. And then Dermasatagake, I think, came in 7th or 8th. So we'll see what happened with that, because Mandarin Hero also is not listed on the ticket for the Preakness from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's and we'll get into the Preakness here momentarily, but as I was conversing with Raider Jim before we got rolling, Mage is the only horse from the Derby running in the Preakness. We don't always see the same exact field running in the Preakness, but as far as both of us can remember, this is going to be the first time that we've seen essentially only one Derby horse run in the Preakness. So a whole new challenge for Mage going forward.